Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Millennium to power millennium. Good morning to everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, March 11, 2022, Friday, 3:42 a.m. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज मार्च 11, 2022 शुक्रवार सुबह के 3:42। I just for information use this word millennium to power millennium, and you know meaning of that. And if you do not meaning of that, open dictionary and see, or open search and see. Millennial means 10 to power 1003. So just for respect, honor to everyone, I use this term. Otherwise, don't be confused. Just the public respect. This is in name of God. Title of talk as it is quality coordination, engineering projects works, reliable engineers, communication, concrete, civil engineering for contracts, safety, health, environment, designs, construction, method, claims, organizations for quality. Well, every day you may think why I repeat all this. Yes, that's an important point. I'll clarify it, but first let me clear about my identity of email, and that is Suraj underscore engineer@yahoo.co.uk. This is my email ID, and I request you, if you want to communicate to me or to contact me, you can contact on this email ID. You can send your message. I will respond. I usually do not respond on mobile number because there are so many mobile messages come, so many talks come. I don't like them. It's advertisement talks, and I'm not interested in those. But if you want to talk about profession or talk about this issue, this record, this video, you are most welcome. And you, for your information, my membership is given here. FI, very simple. This is Fellow of Institute of Engineers, and of course, according to being fellow, I am Chartered Engineer designated. I can use this title for work as well as for general life, and I'm also on roll of International Professional Engineer India. That is according to international agreement. That is International Professional Engineers Agreement, and I passed civil engineering, and that's why I'm saying civil engineering. I passed my diploma in 1974 and my degree AMIE, that's so-called section B of II in 1980. And after that, I have experiences and got chartered engineer certification, I got professional engineer certification, I got international professional certificates, FI certificate, MI certificate, AMI certificate, like that, as progression of engineer. Now, this certification of international professional engineer is valid for 5 years, and the certification of chartered engineer, of course, they're based on membership of Institution of Engineers, and this is, you can say, fellow membership certificate. And this is a quality file that I'm going to discuss with you, as well as this is engineering coordination file. I also am discussing. I'm closing these two files at this moment. Fellow might close here, chartered engineer file, just to reduce RAM of this. A quality that I have discussed many times, quality and coordination, as well as coordination engineering, both are linked together, though not officially HTML. But because this file is very long, I cannot just sit down on that and talk every time on that. And this file is your coordination engineering is very, very important one from every viewpoint. You can say coordination is life. If you want to enjoy your life, coordination is major part of that life. It's not that you coordinate professionally, otherwise also you coordinate together. If your mind is not stable, you cannot coordinate. That's one point also important for personal life. I'm just telling. I'll come back to profession, but now I'm just trying to tell something about life, because I consider life is also a part of engineering, and engineering is a part of life, and life without life we can't stand. We can't do it. Though I'm not using this title in this, but say, as I said, reliable engineers, communication, concrete, civil engineering, works, contracts, all these are related to life. You cannot run life without this. If you don't have any quality in life, you cannot live, and you can't enjoy. You will always be suspicious, and you will suspect others, and that's simple. The coordination is therefore very important. Coordination means, say for example, you enjoy your day. This is my morning time. This is my evening time. This is my schedule out is something. And if you don't stick to that, you feel upset, right? It happens with every person who has some mind. If that person ignorance doesn't, that ignorant person cannot even chart out schedule. Only a person who has some degree of seriousness, that person can chart out that table. Otherwise, you can't do. Even those who don't write. Some people don't write what is the schedule, but they follow schedule, keeping chart in mind. The chart in mind is very important. Chart on paper is also important if you can't remember. But if you do not care for that, if you don't care for your schedule or timetable or what I say schedule also you can call it, then you can't move, you can't do that. So you don't have any time fixed for tea or for food or for work or for thinking or for prayer, you can say. You know, nothing fixed or at random you start something. You don't even care for watch what time it is. That's what I'm saying. We have to be very particular. And you know, if you want to first, you have to rule yourself. That's important. And you can rule yourself only when you can control yourself. And if you cannot control yourself, how can you control others? Point is that is you can't control anyone. If you can't control yourself, if you can't restrain yourself, you can't condition yourself, you can't investigate yourself, you can't find mistakes in you. Means if you are an educated person, you have mind, you have some seriousness, you can enjoy that if you first apply on you. Self-application is very important. It's not question of honest or no honest. Question is, if you want to experience something, first object you yourself are. Sometimes you have to check yourself. Sometimes you have to investigate yourself. What I'm doing is right or no. Self-control, self-study is very important. If you want to help others, you have to help yourself. So that's why I bring this issue of coordination, issue of quality, or you can see another file issue, or this quality file, for example. It says quality and coordination is title here, and I'm talking about my country first. But at this moment, I'm closing up my country, and now I'm saying quality and coordination. Quality and coordination are two important terms. So these are not formalized yet, but there's no question or no requirement of formalization to everybody understand this. Quality in your own life, first of all, you think of that. What is quality in your life? Do you understand quality there? If you cannot understand quality, then how can you move further? That's the important point. So it's a quality and construction. You show certain personal quality, private quality, general quality, mind quality, work quality, total quality. There are so many classes of qualities or characters also. You can say the characters is same as quality here in personal life or private life or general life or lifestyles. How do you deal with yourself first of all? How you deal with your family? How do you deal with your mind, and how do you deal with your internal, and how then you deal with others? There's so many dealings. I'm linking it to engineering because individual development is very important. We used to call it only CPD, that's continuously professional development. And I would also say continuously personal development or private development. Do you understand that? CPD is continuous personal development as well, which is development of a person on individual basis. Now, how much do you develop or can you develop depends on you. Nobody can say. You check yourself, you are your master, you are your student, you are your guru, you are your disciple. And you are your God itself, because you are part of God. God resides in you. That's why you are a God in yourself. You have to decide everything: decision power, working power, thinking power, coordination power, communication power. You have to communicate to nature, and that's true. Nature communicates with you all the time. You may not realize that when you are using your eyes to see this world, this is communication with nature, though silent. And when you think something using your mind, this is also communication. And you communication with your soul, within your soul, with related to every body parts of you. You communicate with soul, and soul communicates with nature. This is principle. This is system, and we have to understand that point. So why say it's very complicated thing, but it's very simple, because you are using your body. Body has soul in this, and soul has world within this. Soul relates to world, because body sometimes is gone, it goes away, it's destroyed, but your soul cannot be destroyed, and that's what I'm talking about. Soul which has quality. Now what quality do you develop? That's up to you. How much can you think? It's up to you. How much can you communicate to yourself and to others? It's up to you. How much serious you are, it's up to you. And here seriousness doesn't mean bad face or very serious face. Seriousness means status of working. How, for example, we use serial number. Why use serial number? There's a serial of steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, likewise, up to whatever number. If you want to go to 5 from 1, then you cannot jump from 1 to 5. If you jump, you will lose these numbers 2, 3 and 4. You have to move on that, otherwise you can't know what's 2, what's 3, what's 4. So when you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 to 12, likewise, you know every number what is there. And if you do not miss that, that is called best way. You don't miss that. You have to go on steps. You can't fly away. Fly always takes you or leads you to accident. So what I'm saying is quality is a chain of sequence, chain of numbers, chain from one point to another point. And that's what we say in our engineering world, scheduling or programming, or you can say time, time design, how to use your time, how to propose time, and you have to analyze your project. What we do, we analyze project first of all. If you are in construction, we analyze construction project. If you work in design, we analyze design requirement. We do that. We cannot just start anything. Means if you want to start something, you have some basis for that. You must have. And if you can't have that basis, you cannot do anything. Clarity is a must. Engineering means clarity is a must. Clarity, or you can say conception, factual requirement, factual, you can say disposal. Without truth, without facts, without materials, without resources, engineering cannot exist. I relate it to nature. In fact, I consider nature as number one engineer in universe. Because nature constructed everything. Many times I spoke to you about this. And I don't want to speak again and again in details, but I would just refer to. Think of nature. Because if you think of nature, you yourself think yourself, about yourself. You are also a part of nature, don't forget that. You are not made of your own. Nobody constructed me and you. We were constructed by unknown power. So that unknown power rules us, and that unknown power resides in everyone, including in every creature, whatever creature. So I have different thinking here. If you consider quality has no meaning, only money has meaning, or only quantity has meaning, or how much you do have, that is meaning. In that case, I would say you are not a complete human. You are not a complete human. You are incomplete. Because whatever properties have been invested or have been entrusted or have been endowed on you, this can't be used. And if you can't use them, you are a bad user. You have health, you have wealth, your mind, your soul, your money, your character, everything. Why don't you use them? You only want only money. Why I should get money only, I should get this and that. You cannot do that. And that's the reason I am using these titles: quality, coordination, engineering projects works, reliable engineers. And when I say reliable engineers, it has some meaning. Reliable engineers doesn't mean only qualified engineers. Reliable engineers means trustworthy people also. Because everybody is an engineer in that sense. You do something. Of course, it's not formalized, but something you do. And doing that something is also called engineering. One is engineer qualified and one is that, for example, a technician is also engineer, a welder is also engineer, provided that does work according to technology requirement, according to safety requirement, according to quality requirement, according to every requirement. And it must be safe. But here I see there is nothing else. Nobody cares for safety, nobody cares for quality. They just go on doing and that's it, nothing else. That's what I say. First of all, we have to think this point. And because I find that quality is also limited, you cannot say unlimited. It's up to us what we define, how do we specify ourselves. So quality is very important, and when quality is a question, you can say quality cannot be treated in isolation. And quality can never be complete. It can never be part, always a part, you can say. For example, your own quality. If I say, okay, what quality do you have? What quality do you have? Do I have? That can be a part, Suppose I say I am this type of person, this is my CV, this and that. I declare that, right? I declare my capability. This is what I am. But if I represent wrong, then I have to prove it. I can't prove it. My saying is, first of all, we have to measure ourselves. It's not education that would measure. Education is a part of that. It's a material only. You can consider my education as a part. But performance capacity is also very big quality. Commitment is very big quality. Will is very big quality. Desire to work is very big quality. Your education can help you to some extent. It cannot help you to every extent. Your efforts, your work, your dedication, your devotion would help you. And all these points everybody has got, but we cannot study that. Everybody has got mind, everybody has got energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, soul energy, every energy you've got. You have to use it. If you can't use it, it's not your God's problem, it's your problem. God has given you every usable item. There's no deficiency at all. But it is everybody. If you are a student, you have to pass examination, that's your aim, right? A student thinks my aim is pass examination. Okay, pass examination, that's one part. But just passing examination is not adequate. Examination can be passed, but learning is important. How much did you learn? Did you measure? What happens? Okay, there are certain questions I write and I study some subjects, some chapters, and this will help me in qualifying exam. It's okay. But question is learning. Did you learn something? Okay, you failed to learn in your education time. You can learn something. Post education you can learn. It's not necessary you go to some university and now you can learn your own, because your mind works. That's why I say quality and coordination. And coordination means when you are in work, you have to do work, and work is not dependent on one item, one concentration, one activity. Work always has many activities, and those activities must happen in time. Why do we fail? Because there is no coordination, there is no proper communication, there is no proper information available, and that's why we cannot move. Everything is delayed or everything is wrongly done. So if it is wrongly done, it's non-compliance, we can say. And if it's non-compliance, it's not acceptable. So it goes in sequence, and it's not acceptable means you cannot get reward of that. And we cannot reward of that, can't get reward of it, it's all scrap. Quality and coordination is therefore very important. And that's why I'm using this title, quality and coordination. Previously I used only quality, and before that I used only project. Now quality, my consideration, quality is not that quality people talk of. People talk of formality, right? People talk of formality, and I am not talking of formality. I am talking of reality. Reality and formality are different. If you are reality, you should be serious about that. Seriousness is reality. Otherwise, we can't do that. That's what I say. We have to get up, means we have to get up ourselves. And we have to check ourselves, examine ourselves. And as an individual, I have to check myself. It's my duty. My mind works because I'm educated. Even if I'm not educated, mind works. Mind has to be used. Well, I have been exposed to many nationalities, and I learned from them. Some people say use your mind, particularly Arabic people, others use your mind. And that time I know what English that person speaks, but that person is not different. Concept is different. I say you have to use your properties, your attributes. These days you can say like this, use your attributes of mind, and you have to. And if you use attribute of mind, coordination always will come to you, don't worry. Think capacity would come to you, don't worry. And when I say stop sleeping, it doesn't mean sleeping in bed, or doesn't mean lay down and sleep. This means sleeping means your mind is not active, your capacity is not active, you are silent, you are sitting idle, and that's why you are not working. When we say sleeping means you are off work, not formally off work, informally, but you are not interested in work. So you work, you want to sleep, and when you work, next sequence will automatically come to you. It comes to you. Previous sequence you would check certainly, because you have to do next sequence. So sequence 1 and sequence 3, you have to do sequence 3, you are in sequence 1, and for reaching sequence 3, you have to work on sequence 2. So when you do sequence 3, sequence will automatically tell you, oh no, you are wrong, do it first. That's what I say, stop sleeping in our country, or in myself and yourself. And you have to make me friend, and I am saying I am quality say, you have to make your friend quality and coordination. I am finding quality and coordination are nowadays zero. In fact, negative, not zero. And you cannot work in your profession or your work without quality and coordination. Whatever profession you have, whatever occupation you have, even if you are a shopkeeper, you cannot run that. Even you are a small technician, you cannot work without quality and coordination. And that quality also you have to define. You are a specifier yourself. Nobody will specify you that these are my restrictions, these are my limits. I have to do this. This is category 1 and this is category 2 and this is category 3. You can upgrade or downgrade requirements. It's up to you. But all that is coordination. And coordination doesn't mean superior or inferior. It means on level field. And level field is always very good. So my dear friends, I'm just trying to tell you how we have to think of. I'm not saying something you do what I say. I'm just trying to advise what should be done. There are so many fields, so many professions, so much is available nowadays. You cannot just list out in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 points. There are unlimited points. Please, let it put off my battery. There are unlimited points and we have to score accordingly. Life is not as still. And one more part I say, never go behind money. That is my thought. I would not say that this is scholarly thought. This is practical thought. If you just run behind money, you cannot work. Remember, you cannot work. Money shall come to you. Don't worry, provided your work is good. Your work is quality one, coordinated. Nowadays, quality is very important throughout world, but important items are not available, and that's the problem. Previously, used to say in our country, oh, the imported material is always very good. We used to say, I want imported material because I did not have quality in my material. But the same thing is available now. I am an engineer by qualification. I understand what is the meaning of quality and I understand meaning of quantity. I understand meaning of technology and I also understand meaning of procedures. And what is communication, what is coordination is also understandable. If you yourself see nowadays what state of communication, can we understand ourselves? We have a lot of communications through media, through speeches, and through, you can say, competition or debates. But did you ever try to analyze what percentage of that is constructive? Think of that. In general life, or in professional life, or in intellectual life, we always find debates, you can say talks, but very few percent is logical. They talk or they debate for sake of debate. There is no start, there is no end. There is no, you can say, no revelation what we have discussed with. Only a kind of formality. So what is the result? Result is that this does not mean any futile answer. It's all futile, no fertility. Got my point? It is futile. What is use of that? I have seen so many debates, so many news where there is not even clear what we are talking about. I have seen many debates, political debates, technical debates, some other debates, where there is no way to know what they are talking about. And they talk irrelevantly. There is no clearance, there is no clarification, and there is no cross-questioning. Cross-questioning, cross-respondence. One is respondence, one is correspondence, one is correspondence. Every point should be clear. That is what intellectualism says. Intellectual doesn't mean you accept what is given to you. You can raise question on that because you are intellectual. It's your duty. And if you don't raise question, this means you are not intellectual, to be very frank. And if you are not intellectual, what you are? That is my point. If you are not intellectual, what you are? If engineer is not intellectual, doctor is not intellectual, who is intellectual? Tell me. These days, one say we have profession. What is profession? I'm saying profession, occupation, or you can say whatever else. Two are important. One is occupation and one is profession. Both are actually occupation, both are works related, and we cannot say no, that is true. But do we do really profession? Do we professionalize? What is profession? Profession doesn't mean anything, but in particular field you have to go advanced. You have to go in depth. That is profession. It's like I am professing. For example, we say I am professing engineering. I am engineering professional. I do profession, or I profess this religion, people say, I profess this faith. But faith is not logical, that's not known. Our profession is known. That is defined. That is literate. Literature wise, it is given. There are certain restrictions, confinement. There are certain formula which may be derived or which are empirical, and we have to stick to them. We have to do accordingly. Who defined that? We defined, intellectuals defined, scientists defined, professors defined, researchers defined, and that is an agreement for everything. So that is what we have to think in quality terms and in coordination terms. If I design something and if I don't know formula, how can I design? I cannot design that. Or if I do that without formula, it's a kind of art. Oh, this was my imagination, I did it. Imaginary piece that is, and that's called art, where your dream is there, your intuition is there, but no logic. You have to create logic later on. Sometime intuition means a kind of package. It's not each item wise. It is a kind of scene you get it, and that is imagination. That is a dream world. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have value. It has different kind of value. You have to find it where it is. You have to find that. Nature has made us like that. Though it's not related to toys, I'm just referring to that. For example, we have two arms, two palms, one mind. We have one head. And this head works, our everybody's head works. Same way our arms work, our palms work. What mind says, we do it. This means mind has certain capacity, and it has, of course, a fraction capacity. It has, you can say, classified capacities. It's not that what it says one time, it would not say another time something else. Our mind tells us, our mind explains us. My mind explains to me every time. Then again, after some time, it explains to me something else and justifies both. Then again it explains to me third item and it justifies that also. But it can justify anything. It is myself using that capacity of mind itself to compare what it says, to find out what is good for this work or what's not good for this work. Or you can say it is options, it gives options. You have to elect yourself, and that property of election is also my mind gives to me. So you can say mind is my director, mind is my everyone. So I have to respect that. And which one I have to go, how I have to go, what I have to do, that is a part of coordination. Mind coordinates also. It's not that I do. My mind, where my superpower sits in my mind, and that tells me how to do this. Though it may not be related to this talk, but it's very different matter. But also it's a part of work. I have to think. In my talk, thinking is very important. File, for example, you can say, though it's all engineering work, but thinking is not only an engineering, it works everywhere. That's why I can say thinking is very important. Actually, the file is very big now, so for the big purpose of this, let me go to no concessions for design structures, and you can say, my God, sometimes you see how difficult it is sometimes to find, and how difficult it was to compose this also. You say research come, and then reliability is also very important. You can say I will discuss with that one also. Concession analysis, and see analysis, and of course synthesis, and then you can say soch, thinking. Yes, it's what I say. Think now. I said reliability, I'm saying thinking, I am saying risk, I am saying concentration, and all these are related to study. In fact, whatever we study, we have to be perfect in that. Now I'm saying soch, tata ekagrata, thinking, etc. It is, and it's very important, of course. Concentration, certain powers to achieve everything. Valued unlimited, likewise thinking based contemplation, I'm saying here, and we'll say applications, all this. So what I mean to say is, do you know meaning of thinking? We always say think on it. What does it mean? Thinking, concentration, powers. This I'm now trying to reflect to you because these are very important in our profession, in our life. Everybody thinks, even if a student thinks, KG boy thinks, engineer thinks, doctor thinks. Everybody thinks and analyze everything. And that, analysis is very important part in life. If you can analyze, you are a brilliant person, I would say. It's for all. Very few people can analyze, remember. Even if you are educated, it doesn't mean you can analyze. Analysis is a God gift. You cannot say that it's myself I'm doing. Analysis means you use your mental power, you use your soul power, you use your concentration power. Without concentration, you cannot analyze. Without understanding overall picture, you cannot analyze. Analysis is a scientific property. It's a property to know everything about that. If I say, scientists say it is element, it is molecule, it has neutron, proton, electron. Likewise, that is complete study based on analysis. Otherwise, it's element, that's it. I don't know what is in there. But if you analyze, you will know what is there. And you further analyze, then you will know further and further and further likewise. So analysis is first requirement for engineer, for everyone, particularly those who can think. And thinking is process, thinking is the energy that analyzes. And that's why I think on. Think is not ordinary. Think is never ordinary. Okay, everybody thinks. But what level do you think? How perfect you are? What's your speed of thinking? What's your speed of rethinking? Everything depends upon that. So my suggestion is don't forget it, and then comes reliability. My work should be reliable. This means I am reliable. Everybody must have certain reliability factors, reliability coefficient. I cannot say that everybody is 100% reliable, but to some extent there should be reliability. And reliability itself is second term. First term is liable. Liable means responsibility. Liable means accountability. Liable means legal impaction. Both, and it is reliability. Means you have done something that is useful, and that is again useful, and it is again useful, it is again useful. It depends upon requirement. What did you think of that? It can be used again and again, or it can be reclaimed to be reliable. This means it should be safe for you, it should be successful in service, and it should be long term workable. And there can be more attributes which can be added to that, and that's called reliability. Reliability is not just the word you can say, oh, I use this. You can't use it without understanding. You have to think first. Are you reliable? If you think you are not reliable, then how can you expect others to think for you are reliable? You have to prove that you are reliable. How to prove? Your act should be safe, your work should be safe, and it should be successful. Your whatever service you give, even if you manufacture or you construct or do whatever, your work should speak. It should tell what I am. It should tell that it is same as it was intended to be. It should be. And it should be not for one time, not for 2 times, not for 3 times. It should be for long journey. And that is called durability. These are minimum requirements. Then you can say there is a question of cost, there is a question of so many other factors, question of profit, question of environment, question of naturally value. All this we have to consider, and all this can be considered, and consideration means thinking. You have to think on that, you have to concentrate on that. And that's what analysis says, and there can be no concession on that. Every analysis is different, every thinking is different, every synthesis, and synthesis is a follow-up of analysis. Maybe you conduct analysis for one thing, and you then synthesize them, and you find answer. Analysis leads to answer, and that's that point. I'm just trying to retake this because many people may find boring, but I say thinking and concentration, certain powers. I don't think just I have to make money. Money is requirement to everybody, but you think money can come on its own? It can come on its own by robbery, by stealing. But if you want to practice it in profession, or if you want to use it in a way God thinks you should do, then you have to work, you have to think, you have to concentrate. What is research? It's based on thinking, it's based on concentration, it's based on question, it's based on what answer should we have. And that's what we can say power is. And if you can't do that, you can't do anything. And you have to achieve something, you have to achieve everything. You can achieve anything, there's nothing. And that's what I think in based contemplation. Your contemplation is very important. When you do something every time and you understand very, very well, and you can formalize it, you can say, oh, okay, this is format for this work. It can go, all sequences you can put there, okay, we have to follow this every time. When you say, okay, it's perfect now, it's a kind of instrument or it's kind of form, or it's a template, you can say. That is based on thinking. This means it indicates a level of success, or you can say it's a kind of milestone, first milestone, second milestone. It can be further expanded and it never ends because work never ends, life never ends. It ends but restarts, and that's what we say. We have to move and move and move and we just that we have to understand all this. Never run behind one point, always behind a system. System is very important for me, for you, for everyone. Maybe you cannot get that, but system means a kind of network, successful, communicable, or you can say coordination network, coordinated network. Systems are very important. And if we do not do systems, we cannot do anything. And we have to understand that point. What I'm talking is a system, nothing else. I'm talking a system in our life, what we should have. And system doesn't mean it's fixed. It's never fixed. Time is never fixed, and that's why system is never fixed. We have to understand that point also. System is never fixed. And you know what we say, in fact, for example, I am a civil engineer. It doesn't mean that it's my permanence. This is only meaning, it's only limits that I know something about civil engineering and nothing else. And why I say this? Civil engineering, I'm not saying this is only one, but what I define that it is something that starts everything. That's what I can say. It is something that starts everything, that is civil engineering. It's a kind of your first requirement in life, and that is after food, it's some small area you have to sit in. You should have, and if you get that one, then you think further. If you don't have safe place to live, then you cannot do anything in life, and that's also important. That gives a kind of security. Civil engineer, I am not saying that civil engineer is exclusive, but civil engineer is a start of life. That I understand. You find civil engineering everywhere in your life, though you may not recognize it. Just like we do not accept that there is nature that is for us, that we never recognize. Everybody, how many people think about nature? Tell me. How many of us think about nature? We think about God in faith terms, not in logical terms. Everybody thinks of God in terms of faith, orthodoxism or paradoxism, not in terms of science. Be clear about this. Everybody, I can say 100%, hardly 0.01, 0.02% people may be there who have different attitude, but everybody thinks God in different terms. In faith, we say, oh, it's my faith, it's my belief. Why should I have faith? My first question to myself is, why should I have faith? Why should I believe? Why should I not claim it? If I cannot claim it, this means I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, means I did not study that, or I did not study properly. That's why I can't understand it. So why is the question of faith? I want scientific answer. And scientific answer is that it is not faith, it is a fact. It's the fact. Fact versus faith. or fact versus illusion, fact versus delusion, fact versus mirage, fact versus horizon. It's not that. That's true. That's true. You have to claim that there exists power to whom I link myself, from where I come, and I am happy to work here for duration I am given. Duration, contract period I have given. Maybe I don't know date of that completion of contract which they have to go, but till that I am here. I have to work. And I'm not working for money, to be very frank. You cannot, none of you is working for money, that is delusion. No one in this world works for money, but they think they are working for money and they think they are making money. You cannot make any money. It's delusion. Fact is that you are here to work and you are there to be paid. Remember, in this world we work not for payment. Payment shall be made there from where we have come. And if you think payment is here, then it is delusion. I cannot take anything from here. I cannot take even a single drop of water with me. I cannot take a single molecule of this body. How can I say that? It is a fact. I'm not saying money is just a medium. It's convenience medium, convenient medium, because we cannot define otherwise. It's, you can say, a unit of measurement, only, nothing else. It is world that you have to use. And it is world which has to be developed, which is to be given a shape, and resources are on this earth. Earth means in the solar system we are having earth, and in this solar system we are having certain agencies that help us. Agencies, for example, these planets, and particularly sun, which helps us. And part of water bodies, that is in earth itself, lithosphere itself, and air body, this is in earth itself. You know what is earth? Earth means lithosphere plus air sphere, and that's earth. These are agencies working all time for us. They never demand any money from us. They help us all time. There is no second that it's either sun or it's night. It's either rain or it's dry. It's either air or this. All these agencies help me. This help not only me, this help in my construction, in my life construction, my body construction, whoever comes to this earth. So these agencies are very important. If we can count money in terms of rupees or dollars, that is only currency that has got no value. Of course, we say money is important. It's important for life maintenance, I agree, but this material is maintained. It's not money. It's only, you can say, a kind of relevance that, okay, in terms of money, we value this material, nothing else. Dollar has no meaning if there is no material. Rupee has no meaning if there is no material. If there is no material, how can you use this money? If there is no material, suppose, what's the value of this money? No money. If there is no food, can you eat these coins or this gold? You can't. That's what I'm saying. We have to differentiate between reality and non-reality, fact or illusion, and that's why I'm trying to help myself, to help yourself to about this issue. And I say coordination is a part of our life. It's not full part, but it is very important part. Coordination engineering means life engineering. Means you have to know every step what you have to do. We cannot simply say, I do it and that's it, that's my ambition. First of all, there is no ambition. There is no ambition, only ambition is that I have to leave this world. It starts the day when you come to this world. There is no other ambition in life, to be very frank. Okay, that is intermediate ambitions are there, or you may say intermittent ambitions, like I have to live in this world. What is my purpose? My purpose is that I want to be an engineer for development of this earth. That is the purpose. I want to be a doctor to keep my team of these people on world to help them to have good health. How many people think like this? How many people? Not even 1%. Some people thinks that I have to be head of one country. Okay, then what is purpose of head? Just to become head, that's it? Or is there some role, some purpose? If somebody says, no, I have to be a director of a company, okay, you are director of a company, what's your purpose? Question is objective, question is purpose. There is only one purpose that is seen these days. I have to make more and more money. And that purpose has defeated quality, that purpose has defeated character, that purpose has defeated everything. Because I am only interested in money. And money cannot stay with everybody. Because staying currency is one item, but staying money is another item. Money is earth. You cannot own earth. Nobody can own earth. There is no power in solar system that can own earth. There is no power individual basis that can own earth. You can use earth, you can travel on earth, but you have to leave it. Even if you store money, you may be oh, I claim to be number one in this world in money position, in finances position. It is your delusion. Okay, when you die, somebody will from family sell on this money, and then another person, but not you, and not that person also, and not that person also. This is what I am trying to say as an engineer. Don't think that I am talking spiritualism, not at all. It's reality. Reality, because many times I explained there is no change in money value, not at all. There is change in quantity. If there is change in quantity, you can say there is some augmentation of that material. There is some increase in that value, but quantity is also same. Yes, it is transferred from this place, it goes to another place. When we say we develop projects, we develop land, we develop road, we develop city, we convert wood to city. Yes, we convert. You can say it is physical development, but how do we develop? We develop because we have material. If there is no natural material, I cannot do anything. My engineering is useless. Life is, suppose there is no crop, you cannot eat anything. So what to do? But there is crop, there is material, there is everything we use. We use from where? We do not construct any material, to be very frank. We cannot even construct a drop of water. We cannot do that. How? We say, okay, H2O, got 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, but in that case, oxygen and hydrogen are required. From where exact? This is very, very elementary, everybody understands, but we forget it very soon. It's same thing as you join some procession, funeral, and go to a cremation ground or graveyard. You remember that time, okay, life is nothing, everybody has to die. You stay there for half an hour, 1 hour, and after you forget and come back. And again you started the same journey of loving money, loving this and that, forgetting that this money is not yours. My body is not yours, so what money about? My dear friend, this is different talk. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get a coordination. We have to coordination every point in our life, and that coordination is very important. That's why I use this term coordination engineering, because coordination engineering is available, engineering education is available, but true engineering is not available. We think projects, progress, and doing more and more complicated works are engineering. I think engineering is not that. Engineering, in fact, is use of no futile use of mind, fertile use of mind. Mind can result in futility as well as in fertility. Fertility means it should be constructive, should be progressive, not destructive. Civil engineering never teaches you to be destructive. Okay, if you have to, suppose you have to replace some house by a new building, that's different. I'm not talking that. That's not destructive, that is a replacement and making another house there. But if you say, no, I have to break it, whatever I enjoy if I break something, some people say like that is unfortunate. See, you cannot break anything and you cannot make anything, that's true. You can destroy something or destroy something, you destroy yourself. If today suppose somebody says, I can break earth, is it possible? It's not possible. Because it's not yours first of all, and you have no capacity at all. So I say we have to be little different in our approach. And for that approach I say coordination. Engineering is very important profession. I come back to question, say, for example, this file is coordination engineering. Again I say coordination engineering is not branch of engineering, is not subject of engineering. It's a contemporary thought. coordination. It applies everywhere. It applies in life, it applies in profession, it applies in business, it applies everywhere, that you have to keep everything moving. If you don't want to stop, and if you want to stop, you don't care for that, it will stop, of course, it will stop. And we have to think of all these items. And I say, for reliable quality engineering works, when I say quality engineering works, deliveries, and that's very important, reliable. Because I don't want just because I have to deliver anything. No, it should be used and again used and again used and that successfully. So coordination engineering is a must in case I can say. Professional engineering, not, when I say engineering, means the use of mind. It doesn't mean anything else, because everything is done in life. Even you cook something at home, that's also engineering. You are engineering, you're manufacturing tea or coffee, or manufacturing your food. It's also a process of engineering. Though it may not be defined, you can define yourself. So you can be, once you find formula, it's also kind of recipe. So I have this recipe, that's a part of engineering itself. You engineered that recipe, and it's for, maybe it's not formal engineering, but some things, there may be one time it may be cooking engineering, it can be, oh, this is cooking engineering, they may say, right? So it's all development, and that's what I say. What I find, because missing coordination means missing good engineering. Let me just blow it up. I think it's better to blow it nowadays these days. Little I blow it so that it is more and more visible. I keep it 175 better. So it's now fully seen, and I can now go back to that and see how this works. So now it is, yes, it is better now. Missing coordination means missing good engineering, and we can understand this very well. If I may suppose I'm talking to you, I don't coordinate. I can't explain to you. Explanation is a result of coordination, and coordination is a result of communication, and communication is a result of something else. What we have in mind, what we have in, what I want to include in this or refer to, it's all useful. And in Hindi also we can say, यदि समन्वय नहीं तो सोच अभियंत्री नहीं. And समन्वय means तालमेल, and समन्वय means communication also. Though communication based coordination, you can say coordination itself is called समन्वय in Hindi, and यदि समन्वय नहीं तो सोच engineering अभियंत्री नहीं. If there is no good, you can say there is no good coordination, you can say there is no clean engineering. Clean engineering means quality engineering without defect engineering, and therefore coordination engineering is very important part. And question is coordination engineering must on every project? That is one question. Though I have written is, again that's an error. Is coordination engineering a must, or should be, is an error. Few questions to be answered by community, and quality and coordination are questions. We have to answer them, and can we answer them? And that's a point of concern. And question is, for example, what do we engineers think over issues as mentioned? What do you think about communication, coordination? All these communication you can answer, but communication is not that we are making today every time busy on mobile, and that's not communication. Or it can be alert, you can say, but it's for different purposes. It's not that communication or talking. It's chatting is not communication. Just talking to people is not communication. Communication is certainly something else, where you unify something, community-wise, work community, other community, where something is useful. How many of us do conduct works per quality and coordination engineering? And that's also a very important point. How many do we think that's right? So we can say, how many of us, let me see what's percent of the battery now. Still it is 70%. Let me wait for that then. Okay, then how many of us do conduct works per quality and coordination engineering? And is it not right time to contemplate and deliberate on this subject? Which subject? And that is same thing as I said, coordination engineering. And can good industrial practice be achieved without moving through quality and coordination? That is main question. Can good industrial practice be achieved without moving through coordination and quality? Can engineering design be reliably carried out without involving quality and coordination? These are few questions that I did not find answers, which can be achieved from, which can be, you can say, responded by many people. And I am finding that people are not interested in responding to such questions. Maybe they are not, I can't say they are not capable. I can say they are not interested. There is only one interest these days, and that's of how to get more money. And when money factor comes into minds, it defeats every other factors. You remember, money cannot come to you automatically. Money cannot come to you automatically. You have to pull it yourself, and that pulling force is working everywhere. Everybody is behind money, and when money is a question, money is a consideration, in that case life becomes different. It becomes money power. It's not your work power, it's not your mind power, it's not your soul power, and it's not some other power that can be permanent. Money power is never permanent, remember. Money power can never be permanent, and moreover it is saturated. Once you saturate yourself with money, then you will, what I do with this money? And that's a question. This is a different one I'm talking about. I'm just giving a reference to my projects, my constructed projects, not as in, it's just a student, I can say, of a student of engineering. Like a student of engineering, I mean being qualified engineer. I was involved in many projects which I have included in these talks, and I just want to refer to them again and again, because we have to, particularly you see, in engineering, in civil engineering, we have to construction, we have designs, we have different types of disciplines of fields. We have, for example, we have buildings, we have all types of buildings. Then we have infrastructure, civil engineering in terms of public infrastructures. You can see we have road network, we have utilities or underground network, we have various types of lives, resources body, water bodies, or you can say wherever engineering is done, civil engineering is done. And civil engineering means public engineering, public requirements. Only civil engineer can give. And it's not that we can blindly think on this. We have to understand that we are using maximum material of earth. Civil engineering uses maximum material of earth, and that is stone, dust, sand, water, limestone. Likewise, we use all natural. We use sun also for civil engineering. We use water, we use air. Without air, without water, civil engineering cannot be done. Concrete cannot be produced, mortar cannot be produced, bricks cannot be produced, blocks cannot be produced, steel cannot be produced. Same way, you can say we cannot develop anything if you don't have technology, if you don't have knowledge about that. Natural resources use is job of engineering, job of engineers. Engineers use natural resources onto these products or projects, and those projects can become, you can say, assets from after transformation, you can say from existence of raw material to, you can say, finished material, which can be building, or which can be railway line, which can be road, which can be sewer line, water line, and whatever you can say, aeroplane, you may also say airport. Whatever we do, that's part of it. There is no one engineering branch. There are so many engineering branches. You know all that. Previously, there were three main branches: civil, electrical, mechanical. But now there are more than 15 or more than 20 branches of engineering, which are, you can say, like specialization fields. And therefore, we can say more and more branches means more and more communication and coordinations are required. More and more quality is required. Now, if quality fails at one place, it will impact your life somewhere, directly or indirectly. And that's why we can say quality and coordination is very important title for current times, for future times, because without these, without good quality, good coordination, I cannot survive. I cannot be, maybe it can help me once or twice if I ignore that, but I keep on ignoring these, nobody will help me. Maybe my product is used once and it may not be used again, and that's the point where I don't want to fail myself. And that's what I say. If you go and see, we have a lot of explanation on quality and coordination. I wanted to talk more and more on that in life. And when we talk of quality, we talk of quality of individual. We talk of individual quality is very important for me. You see, an individual, one individual, there may be billion individuals. You cannot find exactly similarity in one individual to other individual. Even if you compare, you will find comparative statement. Say these are two individuals, we just like this, these are two materials, we compare them. Same way you can say if we compare two persons, we cannot find exactly same chronometry on that. We can't say them both can be cloned. And that's why, because they are unlimited. Everybody is unlimited. Yes, we are same in composition, but our potentials are different. Our potentials, I mean, capacities are different. That's what we have to measure. And quality depends on quality of products and quality of manufactured product or quality of construction or quality of whatsoever you can say. It depends upon something else. We cannot just generalize it that no, what I'm saying is right and you are saying is wrong. That's not workable. And you can say that's what we have to think about, we have to concentrate on, because quality is quality and it cannot be just destroyed. Now it's 16 degrees and with 69% humidity and 11 degrees point of dew, so I feel little cold. Doesn't matter, it happens. And I just check this because I'm little feeling cold here, and that's why I check it. And so my point of view should be clear to you. And I was saying that I was talking about coordination. I try to search too much from this, and in engineering coordination I again try if you get more information. Engineering coordination, and it says one site says grade samples resume.com, and it is a list of engineering coordinator responsibilities and duties. Engineering coordinator, let us see what it says. Can it say something best? I think. And this is 29th January 2022 publication. I visited that place also that day. No, it's not publication. I visited that actually. Engineering coordinator responsibilities and duties, and it says assist all engineering department personnel along with entire hospital staff with any needs. So maybe it is no problem. Let us read this just to know more and more about that. And it's only small page. I can say read it for you. No need of print out. It says engineering coordinator responsibilities and duties. Support the department director with clerical support. Record inputs and logs daily and annual prevention maintenance work orders. Assist all engineering department personnel along with entire hospital staff with whatever needs. Update and maintain engineering department payroll using time and attendance system. Coordinate with design consultants, engineers, project representatives, statutory authority, agencies to set up design deliverables requirements for submission. Review design deliverables together with design consultants and engineers to ensure order for submission. Participate in technical design clarifications and project meetings. Coordinate with project coordination team members, vendors, and subcontractors with regards to workability and constructability of design. Develop regulations and planning engineer on design submissions, schedule and ensure timely design submissions. Coordinate with document controller on design deliverables transactions to ensure a smooth flow of documents. Assist farm procurement team with all necessary technical inputs to facilitate award of procurement and subcontract packages. Involvement technical clarifications as required. Assist QA, QC and site construction team to address technical issues and establish method statements. Provide administrative support for division manager and discipline department heads. Lead and direct routine engineering divisions activities. So these are something which we already have discussed many times. So this is just a responsibility and duties for some coordinator, and it's good I got this coordinators, and there are many more functions for a coordinator. It's not just this one. It's very brief. That's why I did not expose it to you. But you can see this. There's no problem. If you want to share, you can show just now by printout, and you can see it so that you know clearly I'm not hiding anything here. It's your response, your right to know what I'm talking of, and that's what I'm saying. Okay, let me print it out and show to you. I mean what is written, and you can be sure. Maybe you can see later on yourself if you want. There's nothing else. The website is greatsampleresume.com. So it's only for resume site, but it's knowledge we are talking. We are not talking something else, and that knowledge is very important. What at least something coordinator can do, that's what it shows, and that's what I'm taking now. So I can say, okay, so that it helps. So it's a support department like this, direct and clerical support records, inputs and logs daily. It's written there. You can read yourself. You go to the site and find I've spoken to you. Know to listen. It's up to 12 minutes, so I'll close it because it's no use. It's all done. I've spoken, so I'll just close it. Now coming back to again I find another term here. If I say okay, I go to some other one, and that is engineering coordinator. What is an engineering coordination? How to become an engineering coordinator? That's what is engineering coordinator. Engineering coordinator, like, well, these are certain. There is nothing very specific here, and that's a site coordinator, site engineer, DS, site coordinator, site engineer. Vacancy. This is why coordination is key in construction. Right? Why coordination is key is in construction site. Let us go to this and see. I visited this last time also. Again, no problem. It says most projects are okay. This also is also very okay. Fine, this no mean I've all explained to you already. So let me close this now and go back to my talk. And what I say, go back to talk, and it's very particular in this, so you can say. Discuss within these questions also I have raised many times. Again, I have raised these questions of these few questions, means questions like this. Again, I say these are questions. In this important point is quality and coordination. So what do we engineers think or issues as mentioned? That's what we have to decide. Every engineer has to think, and not only engineers, others too have to think what actually we want to achieve. And we can how many of us do conduct works for quality and coordination? That's also analysis. We have to check out, we have to investigate what I do is according to requirement, or I'm just doing because I'm pleased with that. And okay, you may be very experienced person, whatever reduced quality can be considered also sometimes, that you are very experienced person, trustworthy persons, and you have so much experience that quality goes behind you, means you're above quality, you lead quality rather than being led by quality. So if I lead quality, it's also very important because I can create quality, I can define quality, or if I follow quality also, that's true because you at least follow. So some people are so much experienced that what they say is quality, they can't talk without quality. What it talks are quality, points are quality, work is quality. Interpretation, maybe some mistakes also there, they can correct it. So quality and coordination engineering, how much they understand, how much we understand, how much individual understand, and that's what competency says. Competency is competence, how much you understand. And it's not right time to contemplate, I say it's right time. It's right time for everybody. Deliberate, contemplate, because that's what's required. If you contemplate something, it's based on critical thinking, it's based on some, finding solutions to missing requirements, find some missing problems. There are some problems, missing something, and you find what it have fill in. You have to fill in that blank. Can good industrial practice? Of course, industry practice is always good, and good is very normal word. It should be best. Okay, if you can best be good also, so can good industrial practice be achieved without moving through quality and coordination? It cannot be achieved. We have to define. We have to define what we have to do. In fact, that's called specification, and that's also called, if you convert this specification, how this shall be done, how shall be carried out, implemented, and that can be called method, statement, procedure. Where says can engineering design be reliably carried out without involving quality and coordination? No, there is no way. If you have some design, first of all, that design itself is a result of some coordination, and that result of coordination has to be converted to physical transformation, and that also has physical quality, not just thinking quality. Here, thinking quality in designs has gone. It has gone, and it is ordered that you have to do this. Design orders you to do this. That you should know how to do this. And that's why I say you should know about methods, you should know about quality requirement, that's specified. Means if you want to know what I have to do, you have to go to specifications. How or what is the requirement, what's no requirement, what are limitations. Work. And that's why every time I show you these projects, and it doesn't mean that same thing every time we talk of difference. And for example, this is it. just for refreshing it is, I've already talked this. This is something relevant to some onshore project or petroleum project where some products come from refineries, and those are further converted to some byproducts, like here is methane or ethane or ethylene or propane or propylene, means these are connected to that. And this complete process is not simple one stage, there's so much requirements on that. And we have to study. And same way we have to do a lot of work on technology. We have to understand how this can be worked, and I have to in one file. We can say, if I go to that file, let me open that file also. My one very small house which we constructed, and that is house construction on plot. So let me open this file also for your reference and see which is relevant to everyone, which is relevant to everybody. In fact, relevant not only one, everybody is. And this is just to remind what I'm talking. It's here. Purpose of this it's a kind of statement, you can say, because it is descriptive, little descriptive. It's a kind of statement, you can say. I'm doing here. Purpose of this method statement is to describe in brief procedure. In brief procedure, we are doing that procedure. Purpose of this method statement. I'm just wearing my light coat. I'm feeling cold. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little cold. I may not be able to sit otherwise. Just a minute, please. So purpose of this method statement is to describe brief procedures that were adopted for one construction of a house in one. Sometimes synopsis of engineering construction provides brief details design. Only a few I have taken is I could not take all because that's not practically possible. So synopsis of engineering construction provides brief details later. Basement, ground, first, second, etc., etc. All is RCC structure from cellar or basement to top floor of penthouse, including RCC basement walls in bricks at all levels, doors, windows, aluminium. Existing old structure about 80 square meter with wooden doors, RCC. This is just for purpose of that safety, etc. There. Now, my purpose is different here. I want to give an idea of how this was done, because. We are here for ideas. We have to maintain quality. This means we have to know what we have to do. We should know something in details, and that's important point. And something in details is procedure, and procedure means it contains quality. Procedure contains quality, and for example, I'm saying that. Of course, references are very clear. You should have all drawings as references. You should have specifications, and specifications actually is very important. Specification is a part of required quality. We have to find what we have to do. It's not unlimited, it's limited. It's up to you, means how much you want to spend. You can get that much only, you cannot get more than that. If you say I can get everything in some small money, you cannot get everything, because specifications are different. If suppose you want to say in the I want this plaster, you cannot say I will put marble stone in that money. It's not possible. So specifications are given. We define keeping view budget we have, and it should work also same way. Therefore, we say specifications is a part of quality, just like design is a part of requirement. Design is not quality, it's a part of requirement, but whatever design is done, that should be based on quality consideration. And specification is integrated part of quality, because specification would tell level of quality you want to achieve. Where there is limit, where there is no limit, there is tolerance, there is, we can say, something permissible, something not permissible. And whatever is not permissible, if you do that, it's called non-compliance. And that is permissible and you do that, that's called compliance. Nothing is rigid, nothing is, you can say, you cannot change even this, but it depends within this image we can go. And specifications tell what you have to do. For example, specification, just for reference, I'm telling the specifications regarding concrete, specifications regarding bricks, I'm talking construction engineering, and specifications regarding steel, bars, specifications regarding, some other metal, for example, other concrete items. or especially regarding, you can say, flooring item, finishing items. But I am talking of structure here. Structure always stands number one. If your structure is good, it's successfully done, it's reliable, it's strong, durable, then your house would stay. Even if plaster is not good, means finishing items and other items can be arranged, but structure cannot be, you cannot destroy or cannot construct a structure which is no good, which is not durable. You cannot do that. And if you do that, you loosen your money, you loosen your efforts. And that's why I always stress on structure. It's not of structural engineering issue, I'm talking of use of material according to calculated requirements. And then I say, okay, this was fine. There are so many issues we consider in life, in quality, and I think we have to do everywhere, and it's duty of every professional to achieve quality, but depends upon how people are good. And I have many examples where I was disappointed with people's thinking, because people have different thinking nowadays. They are generally thinking that we have to do it, that's it. I mean, I just want to have shelter on my roof, shelter in my, so that I can sit down there and sleep. I don't care for quality, I don't care for something. I don't know why such people talk like this. They spend money, they have to spend money. Even they, if somebody says, I don't want good quality, but even then you have to spend money, what's the purpose of that? So that's what we have to see. What we talk of should be sensible, not nonsense, you can say. Sense or nonsense. Nonsense is not a word you think about, it's a factual word. But something is not done according to requirement, it's called nonsense. Now, for example, we can take, it's related to every body. With example of concrete, let's say, what is concrete? What is quality in concrete? Why do you think quality is important? What is brick? How do you think quality of brick is? Or what is block? How do you think it is? Now, these are very primitive, very fundamental materials, very, you can say, preliminary materials you have to know about. If you do not know about this material and we just use them, then we know, okay, I use them, but I don't know what is actual that material is. And that is deficiency of knowledge. So we should say, we know what this material is, and that's why I use it. I understand this material very well, and that's why I use it, and I'm happy that I used it. I know its property. Now it's very elementary actually for everybody to know. In engineering, everything requires testing. It may be water for construction, it may be brick. We test bricks, and you may say, "How what's test of bricks?" Yes, there are many technical tests: size of brick, surface finish of bricks, weight of brick, and then how much water it can drink. I mean to say, not it is ordinary what I say. It can digest or it can absorb. Absorb is correct word. If we keep brick in water for defined number of hours and then take it out and see what weight it has absorbed in, and that is quantity of water has gone in. And there's a limit on that. It should not absorb more than this percentage of water. If it absorbs more than this percent of water, it is more porous. Porous means more wires in that. And porous material has certain limitations. We cannot allow more than certain specified definition. And that's what testing of brick is about. So you can see physical dimensions, weight of brick, and capacity of brick to contain water. And that is less is possible, because in less porous it means more densities. If it is less quantity it can contain, this means it's more dense, it has less porous or voids. So water helps to know about what brick is, and this is our definition. It's not God made or God given. Everybody has definitions by experience, by practice, we know. So we have to see this, and you can see very bad quality of bricks are available. I've not tested them, but I am sure that these are not very good quality. Well, It's not only brick, and every item depends on. You can see quality wise, we use bricks very bad, of course, then we use concrete. Concrete is a very important material all over world. We should know that fact. It's not simple material, it's not simple metals like other materials. It's lifelong material, and not lifelong, it is lifelong of your survivors. Many times I repeated in my talks, again I repeated my talk. Concrete is wealth. Wealth, not money, I'm saying wealth. Because it's not 1 day or 6 months item to be used. It's not for 2 years to be used. It's for innumerable years. How much it can go, nobody knows. If something is to be done to that requirement, that you have to use it in a life. You think after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years they should go? No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. That concrete works for many decades. And we cannot say no, it has to work once it's done. If it's done perfectly well, it may work for more than its defined time. And if it doesn't well, it is not well done, well understood. It's just write it down. It cannot work. Means we have to understand, we have to take work from concrete. But what happens? You think people understand that? No, they don't understand that. They don't understand materials, they don't understand technology, they only understand how I can save money. How can I save money from the budgets? That point is very serious, we have to understand that point. Material is ours, everything is ours, it's for us. And why should I think that it's not ours? Okay, this is in another shop, it's not for me. But we should not forget that after 2 or 3 generations, this changes. The specifics changes very well, very fast. But limits are there. Therefore, I would say we have to understand those engineers who are engineering field, if they pass engineering and come out no jobs, they should not first of all bite system. I'm not saying what you get is right, but at least you can improve something. Okay, now I say blinding concrete is there and foundations are there. These are there everywhere in every building. And I also did that. I did foundations as well, but there was some difference in my doing and others doing. First of all, because I have studied many foundations practically, what happens that we are people in building world, we cannot change ourselves. What we see that is done for years together, and that is where development cannot happen. We cannot coordinate. If you have different mind, engineering says you have to think on, you have to get more designs. If you can do more designs, more designs will come to your mind. Only point is you have to understand that and solve it. It's not very complicated, in fact. It's not very complicated. It's very simple. If you train your mind, you train yourself, you can benefit everywhere. And that's what I say coordination and engineering plays with. I have, I explained to you many times from that writing in which I explained about coordination, and that's of course very, very important one. And you can say, I tried to show you many times, but because I'm not using camera directly, but no problem, we can talk from book, and it's very important one. Last time we talked about sewer line, etc. I remember. We talked of what we talked of? Structural plumbing and drainage, Okay, we talk of surface finishes. Let us say, mm, let's talk of services and finishes. So, what services and finishes says? Oh, it says it's also truly coordinational work. It's not something else. It's coordination work. It says, I'm just going back to my book, and this is building practice civil engineering, and this was published in 1996 by CBS Publisher Daily. And this services finishes in a building. In a building, you can say every facility is intended to be included, and that is true. In building, every facility is to be included. Facility is intended to be included, and that's mobile phone. Now to by telephone, it's all the time. It's to say telephones and intercoms, fire alarm systems, cell call bell system, public speaker systems, drinking water, foundations for fountain. I'm sorry, for public buildings, minor irrigation planters, water boxes, gas supply, water supply, internal drainage, air conditioning, etc. But not important criteria to accommodate. Not important criteria to accommodate these requirements. These requirements to is to see that architectural appearance internally as well as externally is not aberrated, and that's main point. We should not interfere, we should not disturb appearance also, despite these requirements are done. So it says that unfortunately I can't read, but not important criteria says okay, not important criteria to accommodate these requirements is to see that architectural appearance internally as well as externally is not aberrated, or you can say interfered with, or should any deviation, should means if any deviation be considered essential due to site conditions, prior approval of engineer and concerned architect or client must be taken and recorded. It's worth noticing that idea on papers many times cannot be practically formed into practicality on site due to various constraints, factors, and a compromise is must. Actually, technical coordination drawings are prepared for such situations, for all services and approval of working drawings obtained to make a record in as-built drawings. There may be occurrences of clashes among services of different disciplines. Only way is to reach an agreement to satisfaction of all parties concerned as explained. So these are various points I have written in this, but everything cannot be spoken of. I'm just giving certain points. Same way, there are so many services outside, and those are, for example, external services, external works, I can say. So only some points I'm reading because I cannot read all points, it's not possible. And external services include sewerage, storm water drainage, then water supply to building, irrigation in landscaping areas, telephones if these are, nowadays I don't think it's very important, electrical ducts, fire fighting pipes, hydrants of first pipes, and connections to septic tanks, though there are no septic tanks these days, connections from substation to internal transformers, a connection to substations, external electrification, etc. External works which are very important, and that include hard and soft landscape, services, roads, sports courts, and respective surfacings. I can say games, fields, and security. Security, you can say fencing, security fencing, service yards, and boundary walls. You can say gates, steps, swimming pools. Likewise, you can say all right, like this, so much explanation is there. I cannot speak everything, and I'm just giving you some references. Then there's a trial, tripades, special works, minor auxiliary buildings, there's substation, guardhouse, worship building, and you can say penthouses, guardhouses, underground water storage tanks, walkways, pergolas, and sheds, external lighting poles, but not least. All underground pipe works or utilities should be carried out prior to whatever of above items or these items. All foundations should be finished before start of external piping work. Now these are various sequences we have to understand. Remember, many services run underground externally, for which proper coordination is a must, and many deviations shall occur. The examples in drawing water line and electrical cable may be shown at same point, at same section. It's not impossible, and a deviation must be there to shift electrical cable. Likewise, there are so many points we'll discuss in this. The problem is reading this book in this light. It's old book and old font. I will read again this time because it is not easy to read in this. Now I would again go back to same coordination, that why engineers fail in coordination, why don't we do, why are we not serious about coordination. And I'm just coordinating my switch also so that this internet may not stop. It's not 29%, maybe just 5 minutes only. Otherwise to go about here. Now I put it on again. Now it's batteries on. This is also a part of coordination, you can see, keeping watch on your system. So I say here, for example, I explained to you about some coordination issues, and there are many activities. For example, let us take a state of a building. I'm not reading this page now, we'll read it later on. What I'm saying is, I'm saying what actually we talk of. Common sense, what common sense says. For example, it's not building, everything you can consider. Everything you have to consider. For example, you are learning English. I'm just giving an example. I'm forgetting meaning. You have to learn English, or you have to learn whatever language. You can learn it without structure of that language. If there is no structure in that language, how can you learn it? If there is no grammar, if there is no translation, if there is no vocabulary, can you learn that one? I talk to someone. How do you know English? You can talk to yourself. You must have, first of all, knowledge of engineering. Knowledge of English. You must have how to compose tenses or sentences. Maybe you don't understand, or you are not happy with translation, but because in one way it's your mother tongue, so you are automatically born to learn it. There's no other way. But when you say as a scholar you want to learn, what do you want to learn? You have to learn English as destination. It's your destiny, say, at that moment of learning. I'm not saying destiny forever, but your subject is that. Subject means its destiny. You have to concentrate in that, whatever syllabus on that chapter or subject is, that syllabus you have to understand, you have to learn, and that it will be examined later on. And it's not one title in that. In one subject there may be many chapters. You have to learn those chapters one by one, and you have to understand those chapters. You have to know more words, or you have to learn more and more words. That words have been included in that chapter, and everything should be known. And you have to interlink them also. You have to find logics behind that. Nobody can find for you, you have to find for yourself. And that's what I say, it's very important, very important that we have to do it. You cannot learn that language if you do not know translation, if you do not know grammar, if you do not know how to compose tenses, and you do not know how to, there is a very simple method, you can do that. And I say, I try it all the time to get people with more and more information that can be provided. And for example, that is English. Now, that's the coordination of English. You can say, if you want to compose sentence, you have to coordinate various tenses together. You have to coordinate various parts of a speech together. You have to coordinate various voices. You have to coordinate active voice, passive voice, likewise. Or you have to do nothing and just think of it automatically done. That's the problem here. I daily search many requirements from internet, Google, etc., and I find that there's a limit. I thought that there's availability of seas of information on Google, but it's not true. It's not true. We don't have that. We have to find more and more. We have to think more and more. Why literature is very little? I did not find more and more literature regarding coordination, regarding, you can say, coordination and what do you call it, quality. Not many responses, not many literal papers are available, and I think this non-availability of information is very bad, because internet is a source of information. This means those people, either those who are of quality will use their writing, maybe, I do not know, or what people thought on web is completely not agreeable. We have to learn more, we have to teach more. If we know, we have to share information, we have to disseminate information for our colleagues, for juniors, and whoever wants to learn, they can open and learn. This is an important point. Learning has no limit. Yes, universities are there, I don't say that don't go to them. Go to them, enjoy them, and come back. That's what is required. Now in this page I gave many. We did it practically, not theoretically. I've shown some sketches in this also about what I talk of and how I could achieve it or failed. Actually, to be very frank, my experience of working in nature is very different. First of all, maybe, yes, So my dear friends, what I was talking is construction, engineering and coordination. I find that coordination is very poor in construction world. This is my identification of coordination, my identification of results. What is this? You can start in this. This is a plan which is called first structural framing level hall portion. First level plan it is. What is coordination? That we have to understand this in technically. It is a way how to coordinate. It's very important here. That is what coordination is, how does it work. We have to see that one. Practically speaking, we have to see that one. And what is that? We can see this. Okay, I was just finding something. Let us say what is structure and architectural coordination. That is an important point we have to think on. Columns, structural, architectural, structural coordination. Architectural and structural coordination. Now, it is article only I'm talking now. Tips for successful architectural and structural coordination. And also there are some why coordination is key in construction designs. Architectural and structural coordination, 3 dimensions. That's not it. But I'm not going to talk of this architectural structure and maybe modeling. The modeling is here, and design coordination, design building a key, and design coordination. Let's see what it says. Designbuildings.co.uk. What did it say? Let's see. It says design coordination. Let us see. It's also I can read again. Designbuilding.co.uk, design coordination, and this is a design is process of creating a solution to project brief. What it says is design is process of creating a solution to project brief and then preparing instructions allowing that solution to be constructed. Building design is typically a multidisciplinary process involving a number of different designers such as engineers, we can say architects, engineers, and so on, working together to create a single holistic solution. Holistic solution, we're calling it. Problems can occur where there misses information, poorly communicated information, inconsistencies between documentation, poor resource allocation, poor decision making due to inadequate information, and so on. These difficulties have become more prevalent as buildings have become more technical, range of products and materials increased, standards and regulations have become stricter. There are great number of specialist designers. Design coordination is a broad term describing integrity or integration of designs prepared by different members of project team to create a single unified set of information that can be constructed without clashes between components. Effective design coordination can help to reduce costs, delays, and disruption that can be caused by problems on site and need for remedial or abortive works on redesign. In its broadest sense, design coordination can simply mean ensuring ensuring that designers understand what they are responsible for, and in particular, who is responsible for interfaces and junctions between different design packages. In a more specific sense, design coordination can refer to actual process of you can say. In a more specific sense, design coordination can refer to actual process of ensuring that design solutions can be integrated, in particular mechanical, electrical and plumbing, which we call MEP designs. MEP designs which as they permeate through entire building are frequently source of coordination problems. Particularly true for complex buildings such as hospitals, where there may be great number of building services that need be installed in relatively confined spaces. Clashes may be hard clashes, for example, where route for pipe work runs through a steel beam. They may also be soft clashes, which can be a result of construction tolerances, too little space to install or maintain a component of building, lack of consideration, lack of consideration of health and safety requirements, too many workers being programmed to carry out works in same space at same time, and so on. There are a number of procedures that can be adopted and appointments made to help minimize clashes and ensure proper coordination. Typically, where there is a multidisciplinary design team, a lead designer shall be appointed whose role includes integrating different aspects of designs and their interfaces into overall design, amongst other things. This may involve ensuring collaborative practices are adopted, Coordinating quality control systems, adopting standard methods and procedures, coordinating preparation and issue of production information to contractors and suppliers, reviewing design prepared by contractors and suppliers, and where there are a number of different specialist contractors or suppliers involved in later design stages of design, in particular during technical design stage, a design coordinator may be appointed to oversee coordination and integration of these designs. In some cases, a designer may be appointed. Historically, design leaders or managers emerged in contracting organizations as they started undertaking a portion of design, which involved in their specialist subcontractors. However, it has come to be used in a wider sense, describing a leader or manager with an enabling and coordinating role, but who does not act as a designer themselves. We now process of actually verifying design coordination still sometimes relies on many techniques for cross-checking information with transparent drawings overlaid to identify potential conflicts. Computer-aided designs can replicate this process on screen, allowing drawings prepared by different designers to be compared. Building information modeling involves creating and managing digital information for design, construction, and operation of built assets. Building information modeling can help ensure that collaborative practices are adopted and standard methods and procedures used, and designers are contextually obliged to provide specific information at specific stages of project. On benefits of adopting this software is potential for better avoiding clashes, that it can help ensure that there is spatial coordination between different components. So there are so many points are given, which I'm not interested in showing all this. Well, there are some, we can say stages, we can say articles. So many articles are available, we can go through them. I already, this is just for example, I shared with you again. We know what is that, but I'm not finding in fact real requirements, and that is we can say that this we can depend on, and that's why I see that we are off of coordination. It says here is a high-tech services. It says sorry, whole interdisciplinary coordination is crucial across construction. Again, BIM is there, artificial structural, what 3D coordination. No, I'm not finding anything. Unfortunately, this is coordination plant division. Okay, not this one. What is BM called? Artificial design, BM modeling, and BIM load. No, it's not available. Unfortunately, I'm poor in this. You can say structural batting. I don't have much information. There's nothing as such. We can say no. It's no use. I don't want to talk on BIM. Okay, let me go to my study on design here, and that is this one. You see, for your reference, I tried to find more information through the internet, but I could not. Now, it's a plan, for example. It's a plan, you can say. It's a structural drawing here. What happens when we plan? We have to plan area of some plot, and there are so many ways we plan, and we do it. And for example, let us say there was another plan on this. Just a 600, so I cannot see it anyway. Okay, and let's go this way. Now let's discuss this a little. You see, it is coverage here. You can see this lines. This these hatches, this solid hatch, this is black rectangles. These are actually columns. In my designs, what I do, I never do according to what people do. I move together with structure and architecture, if I understand that. Even if I do not understand structure at time of designing, I design architecturally or I design only room wise, I cannot move further as an engineer. And the job of a design is that its architecture, or you can say space design, as well as supporting design, both should move together. Space design is a way that you can fix spaces, I can say superficial space or area space, into rooms uses. Where should be room, where should be toilet, where should be this room, that room. That lines would tell you. But that lines would not tell you about supporting this area. And for that support, successful support, we have to provide structure. Structure actually, if fails, everything fails. Structure, if works successfully, everything works successfully. That is what I think as an engineer. No design can be done without knowing its use or how we use space. And no space can be designed or constructed if we do not know how its supports or its structure works. What is required is my proposed design of structure should fit in architect's requirement or architectural requirements or space requirements. That is relation between architectural space design and its structural design. These both must go together. And if these people do not go much together, then you cannot find good design. Good designs are there, indeed, but it should be customized one. It should fit in, it should work to my requirement. So why did I show all this? You may say, what is purpose of these black hatches, these columns in this plan? Because my intention is to show you how shall we construct this structure. You can say it's a kind of a structural plan. It is a product further amended from architectural plan. That if that architectural plan I have to satisfy, I have to provide, then this is my structural requirement for columns. That's what we have to say, and it should work, because when we design like this, we have to make sure that load from whatever part of that building, that balcony comes on, it should be taken proper sequence of transferring down. And that is what I say. First this load goes to beams, and then from beams to columns, and from columns down to earth. So we can see that we have done it. Okay? Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Do it again. And check it. What's that? So in this case, you see, in this small portion, I am using these 3 columns here, these 2 columns here, these 2 columns here, these 3 columns here, 2 here and 3 here. And these are certainly elevations of that. I'm just inclined on this trying about structural arrangement. You may ask question that some people say you have to fix so many columns only. And why you are not so fixed columns only? If you just count them, 3 to 5 to 7, 3 10 to 4 12 and 3 15, 3 to 5, 3 8 to 10 to 12 and 3 15. Why did I like 15 here? You can raise this question, but I won't answer, because you do not know anything about structure. Why you are telling so many columns should be there? Did some engineer tell you, or some other person tell you? How can you say that that's right? And that's what I say. I have to talk to my work. I have to talk to my work. That's very important point. If I know how this load has to go from this place to beams, and from beam how is to go to columns, then my structure is designed. If I know preliminary, this means first part of my design is over. So when we decide how loads would go, we fix columns there. It's not by choice, it's not by your interest, it's for requirement. I have to transfer load from slab, and we know all those loads. We have to transfer them to columns, whatever columns are there. You can stand. It may not be this rectangle, but some other design. Well, when I put these columns here, you may raise questions: why this size is bigger than this size, and why there are 3 in this space and why 2 only here? You can raise these questions. There is no harm in that. Again, I say it is requirement that helps. Requirement helps. You can also ask why this column is bigger in size than this column. Yes, you can ask that. We should know in engineering. It is a requirement. You have to fulfill. It's not my choice or your choice. It is requirement. It's technical requirement, it is theory requirement, it is design requirement, and ultimately it is safety requirement. Safety, or we can say, just we defined reliability. It is safety requirement, it is service requirement, it is durability requirement, and whatever else. These requirements are to be complied with, are to be provided. And every engineer has to do it. Engineers can understand that. Everyone cannot understand many of these requirements. People cannot understand clearly what they talk of. Here we have to decide clearly in logical terms what we talk of. Then you may say, how do you know? Did you weigh somewhere? Is there some weigh bridge where you weigh this? No, I did not weigh this. But we know, let us say there is a 3 meter by 3 meter or 4 meter by 4 meter area. If you say 4 meter by 4 meter, that is 16 square meters. If there is an area of 16 square meter, but it does not have any plant on this, any crane on this, or any CVC on this, what shall this have? That is what we have to see. Requirement has to be met. If I say, for example, this, here is no column between these two, and there are 3 columns here. Why? I put this column because here is a balcony, and is about 1.8 meter, or you can say 6 feet this way. And this is nothing here. There is nothing here. This is like hanging. You may say it's balcony which is cantilevered, and once it's cantilevered, it has got certain different meaning. We have to be very careful. Cantilever is a major force on wall and is permanent force. This cannot be removed. It's like dead force, dead load on building. That point we have to understand that what we provide is whether cantilever structure, or it is fixed structure, simply supported structure, or it is some other structure like that. Structural classes are defined, and there can be no building which does not have such clarifications. But how much load I can transfer to this, it's in my hands. It should be in my hands, and how much is transferred, others should be there. Longer span, for example, here is, if for example, is this to this span is about 11 meters, more than that even. And here it is about 8 meters, I'm sure, 8 meters. As you see, okay, it should be about 8 meters, and here it is less. I think this 11 meters, so yes, it's okay. 1 point, I can say 1 point something plus 17 point, 1 point something. All right, now if I have to think of this building, how shall it behave? You see this portion, which is, we say, cantilever portion, will try to come down. This portion, because it's hanging one, there is no support, it will try to come down in a logical way, in a calculated way. It shall not come down to ground, but it shall like to come down because there is no support. It is not happy. It will face unsafe. And when it comes down or tries to come down, you can say a deflection happens. A deflection happens here. And when it comes down, means it pulls that slab also to some extent behind slab, because more pull is required if this slab is not designed well. We have to take this point into our culture of understanding. Every point we analyze, every area we note, and we know all that. Engineers are not foolish. They are, in fact, every column as we set in has to share loads. Different kinds of loads have to share vibrations, have to share wind, and have to share every These columns are very important from structural viewpoint, because your slab means you have this portion, transfers loads to this column, this column, this column, and this column, and this column. You have to decide how much load shall go there, and there's formula for that. Similarly, each column has derivation. Each column shall draw its part of load from relevant area. That is very important part of project. Means we have to provide information to ground. And that's a fact. If you don't calculate that, don't think on that, you cannot survive. A structure, it may come down. For example, here is a line like this and line like that. What does it mean? And where there is no like here, what does it mean? It's very simple that if there is this line like this at floor level, that means at this floor there is no concrete work. We have to think all these points. Means how can we transfer load to that column? And that load is not simple load, it is moment load also. Direct load, simple load, that's depend on this view. But let's say who should be that point we have to understand in coordination as well. This is a design coordination. If I design just without considering these columns and give no details of these columns, how shall that person understand what you have to do? There's so much considerations. Of course, we can say softwares may do that. It's not necessary. We cannot fully depend on software. We have to use our software available with us, and that's our knowledge. That's our soil, our culture of work, and we should practice that rather than just depending on certain courses of university. But we have to understand that clearly in every respect. And if you don't understand that, we make mistakes. And that's why coordination and communication play a role. Here we have to distribute these loads onto this is called frame, this is called frame, this is called frame, this frame. This means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames, and then this way frame and this way frame and this frame and this frame. These are major frames, and calculate and loads are transferred to these frames. And when I say frame means it is column and beam both, from top to bottom. That frame I'm talking, and that's called structural frame. That's very big item for designers. Cannot play with structures. We have to understand like this. Means to define this, you see frame 1, 2, 3, we have to analyze these frames on separate software. I try to do it on Excel sheet because I do my own customized design, and we have to define foundations based on this. Based on this only, we cannot do otherwise. Now this is also same plan on structural flooring, and then we can select. Let me just blow it down so that will be clear. Let us say what we are thinking of. And when I say frame there's another one connection to foundation, and that frame is connected to this foundation vertically. That frame which I'm talking, that rests on this foundation. These are certain elevations only, and these elevations are for different purpose. Yes, I will discuss here now. It's an important one. You see, same plan we should discuss about is here. It's available here, and this is foundation here. You can now look at a close look at that. What it says, you can stick plus closer so that this is what I'm talking about. It's very politely, very clearly I'm talking about this is what is framing. Everybody has to understand this framing. And if you don't understand this, we will make mistakes. That's another point of view. We don't have to make mistakes, we have to understand this. If we make mistakes everywhere. Alright? So we can say In coordination engineering, this is very important. It's called design engineering, but design engineering is based on coordination engineering. Without coordination, we cannot design anything. Coordination is first part which in this designer must understand. And if designer doesn't understand that, so no, I will go on this, I will go on this, and I can't say that person is not designer. That person doesn't know structures. You know what we say, structure must be united, it must be integral unit. It cannot be in many members. When a structure behaves as unit, it's best structure, can say. Why people used to fail in last days, last time? Because of that, they failed. And you don't consider anything, you fail. And if you don't consider anything, you fail, and that's what happens here, you know. Now, I say here, for example, this is a beam, which is this one, right? In this beam, you will find this is a ground beam. I mean, not ground beam, foundation beam, you can say here, which we take uniformly all around this section. If you think it's horizontal, it's vertical, but this section is horizontal. If you show here, this column to this column is connected, it's connected like this. So many, you know, this beam, it's 800 here, and this is about 30, 20, 20, 60, 70, 90, 120, 121 meter, 20 centimeter here, and 8.8 meters or 80 centimeter here. This is size of beam, and only this I am going to use. I go to use to construct this. I don't ask anybody else because I have authority. I share information with you. I was talking of this, you know, this foundation and this beam, and this foundation spreads load on you know, in this width over soil. Means this should be either in contact with soil or where soil touches. If I provided improvement here, so improvement should rest on soil, and that soil will be, if it is clay one, it should be ramped or it should be compacted. But if it's not clay, it's generally like you're selling milk, you're boiling, that's the fact. You should say, you should have that type of understanding, first of all. If you can understand structures, if you want to understand structures, the structure has to go like that. You can see all columns are well tied up, well knit in this form. It's knitting, you can see it's a kind of cloth woven, you know. We have here complete check on this, and let's say that section, that foundation beam moves like it is same, and that is in foundation. It is constructed like this. This is not, you can say, real. Once we have decided this heavy duty work, it's not easy, remember. Just by my saying here decide, it's not decided, a lot of work will be done behind this. Lot of work. This is schematic, qualitative, or you can say quantitatively. You have to think on. And you have to decide expenses on a cubic meter. I will decide. Now we have to work out all this by quantity engineering. We call quantity surveying. It's mainly actual quantity should be worked out. You just don't give it, okay, somebody will read it and pass it to you. That is post the person, the courier by. We have to see, we have to talk ourselves first. And this is looks very complicated, but it's not complicated. It's not complicated because this is universal type. It can be used generally, if it can be used in clay of, let us say, 5 tons or 10 tons capacity, is fine. And we have given results as well in this, how this works. And you can see this foundation is different, not like you think it's a single base. We have connected all these bases. We have to be clear about these types of works. You get my point. What I'm referring to is this. Everywhere it moves like this, and all areas, and the result is that this is beam continuous here, this continuous here, and this continuous here, and this continuous here, and it covers all. This means this foundation has to be designed in a professional way, not in thumb rule fashion. Where you're going to tell someone what you're doing, you're right, wrong. You should tell every person that this is right or this is not right. That point also we have to understand very well. We can say that this is called foundation beams rebar plans it is, and it is a very, very important one from every point of view. We cannot say that we do not know. And this is excavation plan, and we will discuss this one as well as that one. We'll discuss that one as that one. I come back after 5 minutes. I have to go and come back. It's a very important one. You have to wait for that time. If you can wait, I'll be back. It's very, you can view this, you can view complication of this very seriously. It is, and you can view that if you wish to enjoy this. I'll be back. So I think you must have gone through all this. It's very clear. You must have gone through all this and you must have understood all this very clearly. Now we can go down and see how does it work. Here foundation plan and this excavation one. You have to see this area. Here is the start of that. So we can say how to excavate that, how much it will take, how to excavate about this, and that's also very important point here. You can see this same plan here is here, and this is same drawing, and we have to excavate this. Means we have to excavate like this minimum, and we have to take machine inside, so we have to use some entry here also, which is not shown in this, just shown how to excavate. To excavate complete area, not this only this portion will excavate. It's not possible like that. To excavate comfortably, that's what I say, excavation plan, and all this has to go, and we have to, because there is building at this side, there's building this side, there's building this side small, and there is front no building here, so we will use this area for entry, for machine or whatever we can do, and that's an important point, and that's what I try to tell you, and it's very important one. And what is that building actually? I shall try to show you that also. What is that building I'm talking of? That building is in fact that building is in fact here in this plan, in this file. That building is here in this file, and you can see here. Sometimes yeah, it's that building. This that building was talking of. You can see the spelling, and same columns you can see here. One in between is 2, and this is 3. This is 1 here, and this one at the end. There's 1 here, this at the end, and 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and same goes up. You can see here, and this is that building which is talking cantilever slab. So you can see this building here, and it's wonderful if you see this building is there. So you must have seen that. And now I think it's recharged, is it? No, it's 90%. Alright, now this is that building, and we can say here are some plans of that. Same plans are here. So I showed you some of these plans. This you can see is architectural plan here. You can see this is architectural plan here. You can see this very well. The same which we showed there, it is there but in different shape, but no problem. It is here, and here elevations, and also this is here some elevations, some sections. And then we can see this is another elevation, and these are framing, structural framing. Likewise, this is main stair which I showed to you there. I can reduce it down now. Let's see different one. And you know, these are very few plans. There may be many more, and it says that it's related to that one. I'm trying to show is how we do this, how it should be done, should not be done. And I did something very different here, that is structural and non-structural arrangements, because soil here is not very good in foundation. So I applied soil improvement. And soil improvement, engineers know it, but for public I'm telling you, you have to change existing soil and to provide better soil in that place, or we have to improve properties of existing soil. But we removed that soil, which is clay, and we placed it with some granular material, or you can see stone material, granular material. That is, first we did stone chips about 3 inches, 40 mm, you can see, not 3 inches, 50-75 thick layer, and that is soil improvement place. That is blinding, but soil improvement was done by using some material which I explained before, 300 mm thick we did, and that is here. That is soil improvement. You can see here, this is soil improvement, and you can see drawings are here, which I showed to you here, and same design of excavation and this beam, that is foundation excavation plan, hull portion, and this foundation beams we did here with that details, as you can see, of course. And here it is. Then I started writing a lot in this, and I said here that in fact there are so many notes in this, maybe I don't have time today to explain all, but we will do that, and that's not a big deal. I wrote here in house this file, many things, many points I have not covered yet. Of course it's small file, but some points are there. For example, where I see quality systems, lessons learned and conclusions, and says quality requirement is more significant than quality awareness. That's what I think so. Quality requirement is more significant than quality awareness. Quality requirement must be binding, living. We have to leave aside chalta hai attitude or quality last attitude. Written was ever to be replaced by theek karo or quality must attitude. Quality systems requirement must be adherently applied from designs to tendering, to award, to supervision, to execution of construction operations, as well as post-construction maintenance. Merely signing off documents is not sufficient, but carrying out activities and 100% inspections of examinations are mandatory. Those personnel involved with quality system operations must be themselves quality competent as well as quality supportive, and must campaign for its reality achievement by encouraging other departments' personnel. Responsibility ignoring personnel spoil whole system quality. Lapse on quality cannot be digested. Lapse on quality cannot be digested in any case, whether activity belongs to pre-earthquake preventive measures or belongs to a post-earthquake disaster management or organization. Loss of lives due to negligence cannot be compromised. Generally, it has been experienced in almost all spheres But after quality system introduction for decades, products quality has not resulted as expected. Consequently, by inefficient compliance of quality system, lapse of quality on performance, and its inefficiency cannot be allowed to be digested within any disaster mitigation scenario, whether it has to be in operation or it has to be as supporting resources or as involving leading authorities, whosoever and howsoever big one may be. Hard work, input, determination, dedication, commitment, implementation, post-implementation, scrutiny or audits are all a must and must be seen duly performing in addition to approved or recognized agreements. Bare talks, statements would not work to give required results. Real action must be seen doing one by one and by all members of all department teams. And that's what I say, all department teams. And no leniency should be accepted on doing any activity to requirement in any department or section. Safety first and quality must attitude must be adopted as a strong potential slogan. Can we understand this? Since world has been changing, then our country, Bharat India, has to change. Otherwise, there would be no way to escape from due responsibility and legal liability. No safety, no pain. Venus versus no safety, no pain. Can we understand this? That point I have to raise question to everybody, and it's very important point we have to deal with. We cannot just waste time in doing nothing, but we have to be serious, and seriousness is very important. This is the plan I was talking of. This only plan without any structure, this architectural plan. But architectural plan must also at same time show its structural requirement, or else it's no use. This is a kind of elevation on right, I'm sorry, on front, and then this is then and left, and this is elevation on, you can say, right, and also you can see there are certain notes of observation, and this observation is also very important. I try all efforts to exact a good quality of structure from workers use the system in NCR, but I was successful to certain extent only. We'll discuss next time how it is, why I'm talking about this, because I have to explain this also. And explanation is very important in every part of life, and without explanation we can't do anything. And that's what I say. For example, explanation is very important, always important, and you can say it's very important every year. So it's not complete yet. I have to take care of this always, all time, and we can start. Okay, we do something and we ignore something, but ignorance would not help. Only to me would help. And those who ignore, they do wrong, and that wrong is not enough. We have to take this point into our consideration. And as far as coordination, engineering is concerned, there is no end to discussion of this. There can be many examples we can take. There is many issues. Communication issues are never limited. There are long chain of communication we can make, we can understand, we can do, and we have to understand those points very well. Communication is heart of coordination. Coordination is heart of work, and this doesn't apply in engineering only, but also elsewhere. We have to, as I said, the title, quality coordination, engineering projects works, reliable engineers. Reliable engineers is very important here. This term is very important. Engineer should be reliable, not engineer only, but reliable engineer. Communication, concrete. I have many, I can't talk all the time, but I can't change subject also every day. It's therefore important we have to understand this point, we have to understand clearly, and potentially I can say next time we talk, we'll be back with some same thing again and again and again. And I want to involve my full potential onto this without any interest of income or something. So I want to deliver my knowledge to people for its use as per my belief in God, because it's God's wishes, you can say, that I have to deal with this. One day everybody has to go, and I too have to go. This I have complete concept with. No one can stop, and we have to move accordingly. And that is real part of life. We have to understand that pipe, this point is very important, and we cannot take it for granted. And that's what I say. So I will take now your leave for this, and